Well, so some of you guys might remember a while back this Dyson DC41 that I picked up out of the garbage. I think it was about a month, maybe 2 months ago. And for the most part, I got this thing working again. I did put a new used cord on it. These Dysons, I will give them this. They're not all that hard to get into, at least the top part. If you want to get into the bottom and change some component or piece in there, it's going to take a little bit longer. But as far as the handle and replacing a cord is concerned, it's really not all that bad. But this Dyson, for whatever reason, the original owner threw it away, and I think I know why. Now, I didn't pay any money for that cord because it came off of another vacuum. Or one thing that I did notice besides the cord when I first got this thing was this mechanism that Dyson has to use their dustbins. And I'm going to vacuum the carpet anyways, and this thing is empty, but this mechanism that they have to open up the dustbin on these things is very finicky. It is very poorly made. Now, the design itself, the shape, the mechanism, it would be a lot better if they used something a little bit more durable than this brittle, very brittle plastic. And where it had broken was actually right here, broken clean in half. Now, I ended up finding an aftermarket kit to install. You know, it came with a new button and a new rod here. Amazingly, the aftermarket, thankfully, had come through, because Dyson, I believe Dyson wants you to replace the entire dust cup instead of just replacing this piece, because I don't think they themselves sell that part. But I think that was why it was thrown away, and the guy probably didn't want to replace the dust cup and probably just decided to go buy a new Dyson. But other than that, that was honestly all that was wrong with this thing, minus the cord. I think a scrapper cut the cord off. I don't think he did it. But there is another issue with this thing. This whole cleaner is plastic, so it doesn't surprise me that stuff like this can happen with a lot of these parts and pieces on these vacuums. And I don't think that really does anything. It might, but I'm not really too sure about that. But you gotta kind of pop this back in just right, or else it just will not go back in for you. Now this, I believe, is the base model of the DC41. This is about a 3 or 4 some odd year old vacuum. I'm really not too keen on this design, and there's a lot of reason behind that. It looks simple, but it's actually a very intricate way that they've done this, because there's no pedal on this thing at all to lift the vacuum or to tip the vacuum back. Now, this Hoover convertible, which is a far better vacuum in my opinion, is very simple. You have a handle release, which will drop the handle, and you have your pile setting. That's it. That is all there is for these convertibles. They're very, very well made, were very well made. Hoover doesn't make them anymore. They had very good suction, very good agitation. But these are a lot more, dare I say, complicated. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there is no foot pedal on this thing of any kind. How you tilt the vacuum back to use it is simply like that. You just bring the handle back down and boom, you're ready to vacuum. Is it a cool design? Yeah, it is cool, I'll give them that much. And when you want to put the vacuum back upright, and this is another issue, by the way, is you kind of have to almost slam it forward, or at least use a lot of force to reseat the legs there. Now, I have seen, and I've done my own research watching other people's YouTube videos on these Dysons, and there's a lot of people that You know, they just buy the marketing for these things, hook, line, and sinker. And one of those marketing ploys is that this plastic is supposed to be very durable. I have talked to my local vacuum shop owner about this, and he says by and far Dysons are the most common machines he gets in his shop. In his own words, these ball Dyson vacuums, he says to basically avoid, definitely avoid buying one brand new because you're going to have problems with it. Now, like I said, I'm only $20 into this thing because I put that new button on it. But these machines, in my opinion, they're not really designed to last. If you want to get into this thing, it's got a filter that's inside, and you can kind of see it through the wheel there. But you have a HEPA filter that's inside of this wheel. Both of these filters are washable, and I have already serviced and washed this one. Might just replace it, but I have washed it. You're not going to get all of that crap off of these. But you can kind of see some of the inner workings of this thing. You know, some of the seals that they use to seal up the machine. And, I mean, they are easy to service as far as just the filters are concerned. Now, on the new ones, the kinetic, they call them the kinetic big ball or whatever the hell it's called. Those apparently don't have any filters. They rely on the action of the dust cup, filtering of the dust through the dust cup over any sort of auxiliary filter. Now you do have another filter that's inside of the dust cup. And this is another one that I have washed and cleaned up. So there are two filters on this particular machine. But anyways, enough of my babbling. I'll go ahead and use this machine a little bit. So we'll turn the machine on. I don't know if the camera picked that up or not, but there is an air leak of some kind. It might be due to that gouge that's taken into the bottom part where that dust cup goes that I showed earlier. But I don't know if one would do that brand new right out of the box. I mean, to me, it's either that or it's the entire machine's plastic flexing. And I'll show you guys one other thing too. There's the ball feature. That seal right there. Because the machine's flexing, it's making that noise. So here's one of the quirks about these. Put the machine back up, and the air automatically cycles to the hose. But like I was saying, in case the camera didn't pick it up, this is the seal where all the dust comes into the dust cup. Just that single seal. It's not locked in place. It's just simply relying on the suction to keep it closed up and not cause any issues. But as you guys can clearly hear, it doesn't really do that well of a job. Maybe the seal just needs to be replaced. I don't know. It does feel okay. It doesn't appear to be cracked or anything. So honestly, I have no idea what could be the issue there. Now this dust cup was nice and clean, at least as far as any debris goes. So that's kind of the video on this thing. I know I said a while back that I was going to give you guys a video on this and show you guys some of my opinions on these machines, and hopefully those of you who are into vacuums liked this video, so to speak. But you know, as a free machine, I don't think it's horrible, but I wouldn't spend, you know, $500–600 on a Dyson, because for that, literally that same price, you can find a honest to God mint condition Kirby Avalier for right in that ballpark. And I would much rather spend that kind of money on a newest model Kirby that's second hand over a Dyson any day. Rate, comment, subscribe. You all stay classy.